voting today. Have a great day. The better tomorrow.
I made my mind up early on who I was going to vote for. Who we have in office right now. He's done a great job. So why change?
I voted for Joe Biden. It would be nice to get back to some sort of normalcy.
He could be from this house right here, and I don't think it would matter.
I'm here to vote for Joe Biden, even though I grew up in a Republican household and have been a lifelong Republican.
Jim Thorpe is a town of just 4,700 people, tucked into the mountains of Pennsylvania coal country. Mike Safranco, the town's first Republican mayor, is a single-issue voter. Whoever helps his town gets his vote.
We've dealt with the coal mines closing. We've dealt with the railroads closing. So we've seen that things change. Nothing is guaranteed in this life.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for Donald Trump tonight. Donald Trump isn't giving me any regulations that's not going to allow me to pivot.
I see.
He's allowing me to be free to make my decisions and my mistakes on my own.
What happens the day after the election? Do these people get along?
Chances are my children are going to grow up with your children. My grandchildren are grow up with your grandchildren. It doesn't pay for me to fight and argue over trivial things as to who you voted for in the election.
Once, this was a dyed-in-the-wool union town, where generation after generation voted for Democrats. But cracks in the political unity started to show after jobs disappeared. By 2016, it was split clean down the middle, so that Hillary Clinton won here by all of 20 votes. And in the past 4 years, the splits only become more pronounced. So going into the 2020 election, to say it was a town divided is maybe underselling it.
I voted for Obama in 08 and 12, and I'm a Republican. And yes, and I voted for Trump in 2016. After 21 years in the military, I gave my freedom, I gave a lot of stuff up. So now it's what benefits my family and my community. At the end of the day, whoever wins the election tonight, Jim Thorpe's not going to be impacted. Both Republicans and Democrats lose sight of why they're really supposed to be there, and it's for the American people. They lose focus on 90% of who you're serving because they're worried about what's happening in the major cities.
And yet places like this are going to potentially swing the results of this election.
That's exactly right.
People who live here don't experience some of the issues that the rest of the country is grappling with. It's about 96% white and has avoided a big COVID-19 outbreak so far. But it is a swing town in a swing state, and how people choose to vote here has major repercussions for the entire American electorate.
Oh my God, how are you?
Food. I thought you were eating with us.
Well, we'll eat, but maybe we'll just socially distance.
Oh my God, I'm so glad.
How are you feeling right now?
Are you kidding about the election?
Yeah.
What? I'm paranoid. How's that for an answer?
Marge Lux is probably the wokest grandma you'll ever meet. She cast her mail-in ballot for then Democratic nominee Joe Biden weeks ago.
Does it feel different than prior elections?
It's almost like we're on the verge of a civil war, that it's so polarized that it's just scary as to what's going to happen tomorrow and the next week.
Trump just threatened our governor. He said, "We have 1,000 eyes on you, Governor Wolf," because of the late count on the vote count, as though we're going to cheat.
Personally, I'm way more afraid of fascists than I am of anti-fascists. So that this whole nationalism is just scary.
I can understand the worry about the United States is going to become socialist. Just because we want to help each other, the idea that everyone should have health care, that's not socialism. Hey, I'm on Medicare.
It seems like a lot of the people that we talked to in Jim Thorpe who voted for Trump, they mostly were saying, well, Trump's policies helps my family.
There are too many people who think that if someone else gets something, that's less for me. And they don't want to do that. Sorry, I don't think that's right.
This is what Joe Biden wants to do. He flips these states here. We know we might have to wait. Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. If they're close, we might have to wait, especially on Pennsylvania. That could be a day or three.
So much pressure on us. So much pressure.
The next morning, many people in town, like many across the country, were impatient to hear the results. TJ Garitano was also anxiously following the returns.
Joe Biden probably has the easiest path to the White House right now.
What do you think's going to happen if Trump just contests the election results? Like, what's going to happen for you as a supporter?
I have a mentality of you're never out of the fight. However, we have a process for a reason, and that is to assure every American gets their vote counted. What is there to contest? It is what it is.
Joe Biden will swear the 35-word oath at noon on January 20th, and American democracy will be renewed. We see the American leader that we need in a time of catastrophe and crisis for the country. There are hard days ahead. This will be a
That's for sure.
Seems like Joe Biden is going to be the next president of the United States.
Oh, thank heavens. Yes, I do think so.
How are you feeling about that?
Well, relieved and, as I say, cautiously optimistic.
Why cautiously?
I still worry about how divided we are, despite all the crowds out in jubilation. I know there's another whole crowd just as upset as we are happy.
It's Saturday night, and Biden just made his first speech as president-elect about uniting the country. We're here at a Jim Thorpe high school football game where Democrats and Republicans are all together. And one thing's for certain, no one's talking about politics.
Some anxious fans here at Jim Thorpe. 3rd and 7, looks like Olympian's going to show some pressure. Here comes Fasolino! Almost picked off!
How are you feeling about the results coming in for president?
Whether you're playing sports or an election, a loss is disappointing. It looks like the results are in, the people voted, and time to move on. Country got to unite. Do I think it's going to unite? No.
Why not?
There's too much division right now. You still have half the country that voted for Trump and half the country that voted for President-elect Biden. It's going to take some time for the country to come together. But at the end of the day, this is democracy. As you could see tonight, there's plenty of Democrats and Republicans here in the bleachers. This is what America's about, man. People come together, they're watching their kids play, they're pulling for their community. This is small town America. And I think a lot of people in the coastal cities truly don't understand what it's like to live in a small town like this.